Hey there, everyone. I'm Stuart Anderson here again on the Spend 10K a Day podcast. I'm joined by my colleague and good friend, Steve Weiss. Today, we're going to be covering subscription advertising on Facebook, how to advertise a subscription service. This is going to actually be a follow-up to a webinar we did with a good partner of ours, Recharge Payments, which is the number one billing app on Shopify. We're going to be running through 10 questions, and I'm going to be getting the expert answers from Steve. Steve has a deep background in internet marketing. He knows, honestly, more about marketing things online than anyone I've ever met. So it's going to be really great to get his opinion on all these very, very important questions for subscription services, whether they be subscribe and save on an e-commerce store or a subscription box service or something similar. So we're asking 10 questions today. Of Steve. These were all sourced from the Recharge customer base. They had a bunch of questions about advertising online. So let's get started. So Steve, first question we have for you, what do you recommend as a minimum advertising budget for testing the waters on a new subscription box service?
It's a good question. There's no one-size-fits-all number for every single client or every single company that markets on Facebook. I think you really have to go in there looking at what your goals are. Like I always like to write down my goals whenever I launch a new product. What do I want to prove in my marketing? What is the end goal? So if the end goal, which for most stores is I want to drive a low-cost user, you can go in there with a marketing budget of $10,000 and say that, listen, I'm going to use this $10,000 to first start up and learn what my users are responding to and get improved market fit on Facebook.
Yeah. So
what I would say is that you can start off spending $10,000 and you can cap your budget, your daily budgets, at between $200 to $400 a day.
Yeah, I think it's a good starting point. I mean, anything less than that, you could get a little bit of results, but you're not going to get a lot of really valuable data.
It's not about just getting results. I know everyone wants results.
Yeah.
Everyone wants a holy grail of how to spend profitably on Facebook. You always hear these stories about these companies that, wow, they went from zero to millions of dollars all from Facebook. Well, the trick is that you have to start somewhere, and you have to get data that's statistically significant to your marketing. So, for instance, like what you prove on $50 in spend is not significant enough to say that that's going to be the same if you spend $5,000 or $10,000.
It's a really, really good point. Very good point.
And I think another thing is to really understand about Facebook, it's not about how much you spend. The hardest thing about Facebook is one word, and that's scale.
Yeah.
The more, it's easy to spend $10,000 a month profitably on Facebook for some stores, but, for most companies, the hardest thing is how do I spend $50,000 and keep that same cost per action?
It's hard. Very hard. So the next question we have is actually related to this one. So let's say we're dealing with a small budget. Let's talk about the $200 to $400 ranges we just talked about, or maybe even something a little bit less. What can someone do on Facebook with that budget? What are the things they should really focus on at a small budget level?
So number one, I would focus on the lowest hanging fruit, the people that are going to convert your most productive and your happiest customers. So I set up my custom audiences around people who've added stuff to cart and who haven't purchased. So I run ads directly to that audience segment. I run ads directly to my email list and try and reactivate. If you're a subscription company, I try and reactivate people who've already subscribed and who have dripped off your subscription. I'd run ads to them. I would try to exclude every single person who's already a part of my subscription. There's no reason to keep slamming them with marketing. Then I would start building lookalikes around that. I would start focusing on the top of the funnel. So you have your stuff that's that is going to work. Most likely is going to work. People who've showed purchase intent and people who've already bought the product. And then B, I dedicate a little bit of budget toward the top of the funnel, trying to convert new users who've never heard or seen me before. And then I'd use different value props. I'd understand why is someone purchasing my product. Is it based on price? Is it is it based on a specific element of my product? That's interesting. Maybe it's a health product, and we have an ingredient that's brand new to the public. I really want to understand what is the hook. What is going to hook a new person in? And I think with your initial budget, you want to figure out what that hook is.
Yeah, it's a great answer. So the next question we want to have, new subscription store, regardless of kind of what it is, just a generic answer here for most businesses. what would your top 3 tips be for getting started on paid ads or setting up the proper conversion attribution?
Number one, and no one wants to hear this answer, but it's the absolute truth. Understand your customer. When I used to launch a variety of affiliate marketing campaigns on Facebook, the first thing I used to do was I'd read Yahoo Answers and I'd read all these different question and answer sites to figure out what people's pain points were to buying similar products. I'd start really researching reviews on, maybe there's companies that are bigger than me that are doing a lot of Facebook marketing. Well, I want to read their reviews. I want to see what the customer pain points are. I want to see the elements of my competitors' products that people are most interested in, because that'll craft my marketing strategy of what I'm going to do when I launch. So number one, basically just digging deep and understanding your consumer. Very, very important. Number two, setting up Facebook ads. You want to make sure that everything is set up properly, because if it's not, the data that's going to come in is not going to make any sense to anyone. It's just a total waste of time.
Yeah, you really have to have your tracking in place and make sure it's working properly.
Yep. So make sure that the Facebook Universal Audience Pixel is set up right. Make sure that whatever you deem a conversion is passing back the correct conversion value. Make sure that everything's tied in correctly to Shopify. Make sure that everything is just set up properly, so make sure your email lists are uploaded. That whatever data you're getting out of Facebook is actually making sense.
Yeah.
Number three is I would look at, if I'm a subscription company, I know that there's specific boxes that are more productive than other boxes. Let's say the box changes every month, or it stays the same. If your box changes every month, I'd like to get people into the funnel with the best box.
Yeah.
I'd like to understand what's our best box, and then I'd like to use that as a new customer acquisition tool. If it's the same box every month, I would like to I start iterating and coming out creative. I would start producing maybe a short video, like a lifestyle video on the box, and I'd start with that. And with the video, it doesn't have to be a crazy made video. We're gonna go into video in a second, but you really want to optimize captions in these videos, because remember, Facebook doesn't have sound in these videos. So I would start, the initial process of creating that video. So number one, just a quick recap, guys. Number one, understanding your customer, understanding who your prospective customers are. Number two, setting up Facebook, making sure all the data, all the pixels are set up properly, everything's tracking properly, making sure GA is working properly on your site. Then number three, I would focus on creative. I'd say get a short video made. You can even record the video on your iPhone. We've done that before.
Yeah, that's great tips. So the next one is about international. How should businesses, subscription businesses, be targeting international customers on Facebook?
I get that question a lot now. Ad prices in the U.S. are going up, and ad prices in a lot of English-speaking countries are going up, from the U.K. to Australia to Canada. It's all getting very expensive to market to the English-speaking market. So, number one, I would get a really good translator on board, someone who can understand, what specific marketing messaging works in specific countries. I would get both a translator and a copywriter in a different country, and I get that person on board, to just kind of consult. Because remember, you have to change up elements of your website, not just Facebook ads.
Yeah.
You got to come up with a different version of your website. So number one, I would get a marketing copywriter on board. Number two, I'd understand the supply chain side. I'd figure out what can I pay. And I didn't mention this on the last part of the initial setup of Facebook ads, but this is also very important. What can I pay for a conversion to make me profitable? What can I pay? That's very important. Understand the economics of your business. So for doing internationally, what I really want to understand, besides hiring this copywriter, this translator, is what is my break-even cost per action?
Yeah.
With shipping, fulfillment, and customer service, having a Brazilian speaking or Portuguese, speaking, customer service team. What is all this going to cost me?
Yeah.
And so those are the two things I really look at with international. Number one, what is my break-even CPA? Number two, translation. How do I build a web? How do I translate my website and translate my ads to prepare? And then Number 3, it's testing. It's really just be doing rigorous testing in these different markets, figuring out which messaging is gonna arouse and get someone hooked into your product. I'd also again do some user research, so reading up forums in specific countries, just trying to understand what are the pain points of the people that I'm marketing to.
Absolutely. So the next question that we're going to tackle is specific to businesses that are doing traditional e-commerce as well as a subscription component. So how can a business convert people who have repeat purchases, like single purchases? How can we convert those people into subscription customers? What are the best ways?
It's a lot of people always ask me that question. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to build a subscription box out of people who buy one-off products.
Yeah.
So number 1, I would say value. You have to show value. You have to show more value in your subscription service than buying the products one-off.
Yeah.
The value could be convenience. It could be price. It could be, it could be new features or new products that you're going to add to the box. So I would say number 1, value. Number 2, I would say scarcity. So if I were to convert, a significant amount of people to, from products to subscription boxes, I want to start off with my best customers. I want to try and see it. I want to do it at a very low level. I want to maybe even reach out to them over the phone to start and just ask them, is this a box that would be interested in you? Because remember, you don't want to disrupt your current business. A lot of companies are so quick to try and turn the subscription box on, and without being very sensitive to the people that are already buying their product. And what they're doing is they're hurting the other side of their business. Yeah. So I'd roll it out on a very small level. First, I would just talk to current clients to try and understand their pain points. And number 2, from a Facebook side, I would market the subscription boxes. I'd run a small test, marketing the new subscription box and excluding all my WCA audience, all my website custom audiences, all my current customers. So I would really, I don't want to touch my current business. I don't want to hurt my current business. So I would really start being very careful and exclude the people from one or the other.
Yeah. So the next one, this is kind of just it's a very high level advertising question. Main differences between advertising traditional e-commerce products versus subscriptions. So obviously, the one-off sale versus the subscription. What are the main differences? Let's focus on Facebook. Like, what are the main differences in advertising those two different types of transactions?
I think there's the one big difference that just runs in my mind is that you have a lot more leeway when you market subscriptions to discount and do different deals to get people into the funnel because you're calculating subscriptions on an LTV. Whereas if you're marketing one-off products, you're marketing them. You're marketing just one-off product. Your sale amount is the amount of money you get paid one time, and you don't want, and you're very careful to market to do any type of discounting on the one-off product because that could hurt the rest of your business. Whereas you could discount someone to get into your subscription funnel. You could run different types of hooks. Whether money is the pain point, you could run different types of hooks to get people into your subscription box funnel. Also, number 2 is products are usually you're going to change up your products. Month over month, maybe you don't change up your products, but with subscription boxes, you really want to, if you change up your subscription box, you really want to go with the box that gets people, that is the most popular box to get them inside. So I think with subscription boxes, you really have to keep iterating a lot more of changing up the way you bring people in, because remember that you're charging them every single month. Yeah. So you got to keep changing up your hooks and bringing people in. Just from my experience on Facebook ads, your ads for subscription box companies go stale a lot quicker than product ads.
Very true. Very true.
So you have to really keep iterating hooks to bring people in, because it's not going to be the ad that works last week is not going to work this week on subscription boxes.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. So the next question is a pretty straightforward one. What is the best way to target people who are most likely to become customers?
Best way to target, so they're not customers right now.
Yeah. Like, what if I'm going out and trying to find an audience, let's say on Facebook? Obviously there's a lot of ways. What are the best ways to find lowest hanging fruit for my next customers?
Website custom audiences. I've never purchased from you before, but I've been on your website.
Yep.
Number 2, even more granular. I've added something to my cart. I've been on your website.
Yeah.
You want to target that person. Hopefully you have live chat on your website so you could, talk to that person when you drive them back in live. But if you don't, two biggest audiences. Number 2, take your current website custom audience list or your current and build a lookalike audience. Lookalike 1%. Very key. What this means is Facebook is going to get the people who look the most similar to this audience. I'm sure you've seen lookalike 10%. That's a much larger audience of people who look less similar to your audience. So build lookalikes out of every single website custom audience. So your email list, the people on your website, build lookalikes of all those people.
Yeah, because ultimately the best way to find your next set of customers is to use your existing customers to give you information about it.
Exactly. So those 3. Number 1, website custom audiences. Number 2, uploading your email list of people that have already been on your website, targeting them. Number 3, build lookalikes off your website custom audience list and your email list. Those are the 3 audiences that I always start with.
Yeah, absolutely. Next question I know is that passion point for you. We're going to be talking a little bit about video. So what are the best ways to use video in your Facebook ad campaigns and sales funnel?
Okay, cool. So remember, Facebook is evolving. It used to be just this crazy ad platform that companies would leverage to, drive new user acquisition. It's still that in a nutshell, but and myself, I look at Facebook as more of a CRM system, very similar to how email marketing works. So I like to really segment all the people that I market to. And I call these segments top of funnel, mid funnel, and then bottom of funnel. The top of the funnel is I've never heard of you, I've never seen you, I don't even know who you are, I don't know how you smell. I wanna make the best first impression on this new human being that is going to be engaging with my ads. So I use video on the top of the funnel as the first thing they see when they look at my new product. So they're going to see really cool video ad of someone unboxing a subscription box. Really cool. It's an exciting moment. They put the box on the table, and they're opening it up, and then inside that video you have captions saying, talking about the products, talking about the the discounts. You could actually use captions because remember, Facebook video doesn't have any sound. Most 80% of videos don't have sound on Facebook. So number 1, using video top of funnel. When I say top of funnel, I mean targeting lookalike audiences that have, and you're excluding all your website custom audiences and your email audiences. So number 1, video top of funnel. Number 2, video bottom of funnel. Video to actually make a pitch to purchase my product. So you've already engaged with me. You've already been to my website. You've added stuff to the shopping cart, but you haven't made a purchase. So using video to induce a purchase by using some form of scarcity. Having a video saying we only have 15 more boxes to go for the holidays. 48-hour sale. Get 15% off a subscription. Using video as a main call to action on the bottom of the funnel. And then mid-funnel, we also use video to tell a story. Very similar. I've engaged with your brand. I heard of you. Now I'm providing you even more value of this is how we existed. This is how we started. Maybe do a quick video bio of the founders. Yeah. That really works well for mid-funnel to really get people more seasoned to make a purchase. Very
cool. So here's one I know you have some strong opinions on. It's a bit of it's just a hotly contested topic. How can a subscription product business, drive urgency and generate interest without offering a discount or like devaluing their product? What are the ways to kind of get people in?
So I'm not a big fan of ever discounting. Yeah. Discounting is usually the last. It's like the last thing you do just before you back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
I don't like discounting brands. I think brands that do a lot of discounting on Facebook, I always try and tell them don't do that unless you really need to. So with that said, I think you could do a lot before you discount. I think if you're a subscription box company, you could talk a lot about your products and the benefits. I think that showing a video around the products and the benefits and I think when you run a subscription box company, you really want to sell like the surprise of what's coming next. So I think that if you can do a good job of selling the dream of what's coming next and what's in the box and the experience of being on the subscription, that's going to be really key to acquiring new users at scale. And I really say that because it's so important to really sell the dream of the product. And you can do that in so many different ways without having to discount.
Yeah. So here's, and this will be the last question here, and this is kind of related to the last one because somebody wanted to know kind of like if we want to get somebody to just try the product, if we need to offer like an incentive to try the product, what are the best ways to do it? Is it a free trial where they get like a free box for the first month? Is it a discounted first month? Is it like a lifetime discount where they're getting 10% off the entire subscription? Obviously, we just talked about discounts a little bit, but what do you think is the best way to offer that incentive?
So people are numb to the word free.
Yeah.
I've learned that on Facebook from running so many ads over the years. Someone would think that like the word free would increase the conversion rate. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
What really increases the conversion rate is bringing value to the consumer. So any way you could, I'm a big fan of bundles. Any way you could keep the price at its current rate, but add something to the box is something I'm a huge fan of. So if you could keep your prices the same, but keep adding more and more value to whatever offering you're doing, I'm a big fan of that instead of giving away a price or giving away 15% off. Because remember, people don't know what 15% off is. They don't even know what your price is. They don't even trust it. So I feel like you really have to focus on bringing more and more value instead of discounting. I'm not a big proponent of discounting. I'm a much bigger proponent of bringing more value.
Yeah, I think that's a good point because especially if you're when you're advertising, if you're saying, hey, you're going to get our box, you're also get this other item. You get to talk more about the stuff, which is really what's going to sell it in the end. And if you're saying, hey, you can get 15% off or you can get 10% off every month if you sign up now, people don't even really know yet if they even want it at all.
And plus, you're attracting the wrong customer.
Yeah.
I think that the companies that do a lot of discounting you don't want the customer that's so price conscious that they're looking at their credit card. Oh my God, that's $20 a month. Well, I can't deal with that $20. You don't need the price conscious customer. You want a customer who's going to make a commitment to be a part of your subscription program because of the value that you're bringing to their life.
Awesome. Well, that's been 10 questions, Steve. Do you have any parting thoughts for subscription business entrepreneurs out there who are looking to get started advertising?
I would say really focus on understanding your metrics, understanding your customers. I talk to so many companies and they're running all these advertising programs, but they're not talking to their customers. They don't really understand what their customers' needs are. And I would say that very simply picking up the phone and talking to 3 or 4 of your customers on the phone will give you more insight into how to run paid acquisition campaigns than spending thousands and thousands of dollars on ads. I think that right there is the hidden gem of online marketing is the ability to talk to people who've actually bought your product.
Awesome. Well, again, this has been a subscription business seminar here. We wanted to thank our partner Recharge for hosting us on the webinar this week, and I want to thank Steve Weiss for sharing all of these great thoughts today. Again, this is Steve Weiss and Stuart Anderson. We are here with Mute 6 on the Spend 10K a Day podcast. We will see you next time.